I just had a couple of, before we get into the details of this, I thought let me just share a couple of thoughts that come in my mind. And that is, we are all going through a transformational stage as of now. And I feel this is basically coming in from all aspects. When I say all aspects, all across all verticals. And this transformation is basically coming in all society, be it technology, I would say behavioral patterns, the consumer spending power, and all of this. So when I basically wanted to understand a consumer before I get into what innovation we at Phoenix are planning to offer to the Indian retail customers. When I say consumer, consumer, I see today's consumer is aspirational, is young, focused, talented. They know what they want. They're very clear about the concept, what they are coming out with. However, when we get to the details of a consumer, before we look in for innovation, we are seeing majority of the consumer today is in the age group of around 30 to 40. And the youth is the majority segment in that flow. So we feel they are the ones whom we need to cater to, and this change which we were seeing, the transformation that we were seeing, is only coming out with the customer. The consumer is the guy who's asking for a change, for which we as developers, franchise models like this are working on for a concept, which is we will just get into details. Now when I say a consumer today, I am purely looking at which segment of consumer. Now there is an unorganized and an organized retail. When I say a consumer probably falls into the upper class. The youth, which we are seeing probably around 70–75% of the consumer today is in the youth segment. And the segment which is the most, which actually needs more of support is the conservative side. I would say the conservative side is where these guys are more towards the rural segment. Guys who for whom cost effectiveness comes into picture. So that's an area that we as Phoenix has focused upon in delivering a new concept, which we'll just get into details. Again, as we said, 70% of most of the consumers fall into the rural segment who are price conscious, and that's an area that we have focused in delivering our product to. So when we know who the customer is, who the consumer is, we thought just get into deep diving into the organized and the unorganized retail. With organized retail flowing up, the growth is very clear. When we know there are reasons why the franchisees are there to support them, they are the long chain stores which are there, and that's the way forward. But the merits, the positiveness that they have going forward are the ones where they say the Indian consumer is young. We are talking about easy financing facilities that they have, and the logistic aspects. So these all support the organized sector, undermining the other sector which is called the unorganized sector. The unorganized retail, when I am focusing on the retail and the real estate more, I see the high streets are the only areas where the unorganized sector has gone to. But there is a limitation to what the unorganized sector can go. With limitation to the expansion of high streets, with limitations of accessibility of funds for the retailers in the high streets, we see that area being ignored upon, and areas such as but yes, those segment of unorganized retailers do flurry with these following reasons. That is, one is there are no taxes involved with this, the absolutely proximity with the customers that they have, and the low operating cost. In spite of this, there are very strong retailers in the market which are in the high street who've been booming themselves. But for the new entrepreneurs who are not getting into the organized segment is an area that we feel as Phoenix we've endeavored to support them. As a challenge to this unorganized segment of consumers, we feel, as I was saying, there's no growth plans, there's no vision for those set of retailers. There is a limitation to the growth of the expansion plans. So they wouldn't know, and they would not want to get into an organized sector because they feel they're not from that portion of retail. So hence, somebody somewhere has to start an area where this could be a support system to them, and that segment of high street or unorganized retail takes into a different level. Before I get into what Phoenix process has been into getting this to a different level, Just sort of giving a brief on Phoenix. Phoenix Mills Limited. We are predominantly known for our retail segment, where we have mixed-use retail developments. A retail portfolio which includes the major metros, where we have around 6 million square feet of retail already operational. From a residential side, again, we have around 6 million square feet in Bangalore and Pune. Commercial belt, on commercial belt, we've taken a good hold in Mumbai and Pune with 2 million square feet. And in hospitality with the Palladium Hotel, which we have, and the Courtyard and Marriott in Agra. So that talks about the portfolio of Phoenix as a group. But a special interest and endeavor to move into this segment of looking into the unorganized sector is what has been the new mantra that we followed, and we are getting into it. And we hopefully that should give us a new landmark positioning. This just talks about our retail assignments that we have. The High Street Phoenix, Phoenix Market City Kurla, the Phoenix Market City Pune. These are all operational, so 6 million square feet is there. Phoenix Market City Bangalore and Chennai. The new concept that we spoke about Phoenix as a group was Phoenix Paragon Plaza. Now I would just want to dwell upon what we do here in this model to support the unorganized sector of retail. Phoenix Paragon Plaza was a thought that comes in when from an unorganized retail market which is there and which is not expanding for all its reasons. Phoenix took an endeavor to move into a concept where they could give a platform of getting these strong retailers from the market to getting them in an organized, probably a so-called mall concept, which certainly caters for the offices and the retail. So that is where we started this concept with, and it's in the flow. A couple of months should give an opening to that stage. Phoenix Paragon Plaza, again, as I was saying, this concept is purely a mall concept, but certainly would driving for everybody who's sitting here who is an entrepreneur, who is into starting his concept from an unorganized, from a high street store. In a high street, when we say there are a lot of retailers who are very strong in market, but don't have an eye to catch up with the organized market, they will not probably get a location in one of the big malls because of the positioning that they carry. So hence in those scenarios we thought, let's create a model like this which will start the concepts right from an 80 square feet store to a 2000 square feet. So anybody today, if I am as a consumer, I would want to buy something of electronics, I have all the way, if I'm talking about Bombay, I have all the way go to probably Lower Chal or somewhere in South Bombay where there's an electronics market. Somebody wants to buy a bridal concept, has to all the way go to Santa Cruz or Dadar, or when I say of Delhi, there are particular high street zones where somebody has to move in. So this is somewhere we thought we could just get all of this under one umbrella and offer to the Indian consumers. Now we have a lakh square feet of electronics market which strongly will cater to only the strong brands of the retail industry of the high streets. It would not have a Croma, it would not have an E-zone, but certainly a lot of entrepreneurs sitting here who have a small concept would certainly want to have a place in an organized market like this. Organized market, when I say, it serves them with all the facilities, all the ambience, what normally you get in every mall. So that's a zone that we thought we could have an endeavor with, and that's given us a great shape too. We are around 2 months away from this concept as to launching it away, and but this is given really around 30 to 40 strong retailers from the market have just moved in. They've started the operations, and we should be able to open up in very close days. Very key point to this was also when we talk about retail and offices, the size did matter to us. Today, what the biggest concern that we see from an unorganized retailer is, the mindset is purely that they don't want to get into a lease model. And Phoenix as a concept has always been into a lease model. But with this Phoenix Paragon Plaza, what we've taken a stand, we thought let's get into a concept. If there is a retailer in the market who wants to expand and he expects him to be buying the property, for the first time we thought let's go ahead and started selling our properties. Which means a smaller retailer, probably a size of 80, 100, 200 square feet, wants to own a property because he is coming from that mindset. He's been only doing that all his life. He's only owned a property and not gone to the lease. We thought let's sell our properties. So this model has the USP of giving it on lease as well as sale, which is converting a lot of these unorganized strong retailers in the market to get into this platform. So just again, the shopping experience is going to be what normally when somebody gets in a Phoenix Mall or any other Select City Mall or any other retail arena where the big brands cater to. And that is where has been the step towards. We are in a stage where there are with 400 units of retail and offices that we are in the offering. We would be starting up this in a couple of months. This forum itself has generated a lot of people's anxiety to be a part of this concept, because this is the only place I think as an endeavor from Phoenix side has brought about a lot of retailers to get into an organized segment like this. Just before I end, we have also a stall outside, so anybody who's been part of this, who's interested, who want to know a lot of more inquiries about, can meet us and we can take this forward. Thank you so much. Mall that is going to be operational today, the basic CAM expense, that's the common area maintenance that comes in. So when we talk about this concept like this, which includes probably around 5,000 to 6,000 rupees for a 100 square feet store. Now this certainly includes your maintenance, your marketing, your services, your house, your marketing cost and your HVAC cost. So for a retailer of this sort, he's very ideal. He doesn't know what is CAM, what is common area maintenance. So for him it's a club unit, club cost that we offer, which makes him much more on a comfortable side. Again, sir, it would vary because this is again a concept which is around 5 lakh square feet. You have from various ends to ends. So depending upon the size and the location, the rates would matter. But still on an average, I would say 100-150 square feet is what it talks about. So in case if somebody is leasing around 100-150 square feet of store, he would be ideally paying a 30-40,000 rupees rent. Which ideally on a high street is where, if he compares it, he's on the same page. Purchase price, again, I was saying, every locations do demand a different store, a different price, but depending upon the average, if I could speak around, anywhere around 35-40,000 rupees on carpet. Yeah.
The loading, like carpet area and chargeable area.
This is what the normal retailers come back with asking.
Because I am dealing with a couple of...
I'm sure. Again, you being a retailer or somebody who knows it would speak about a loading to me. But somewhere a retailer who's on the high street doesn't understand the concept for loading. So we do everything on a carpet itself. So we don't talk about a loading concept with these guys. However, because a lot of retailers are there in various malls, so this is always said. So it normally depends upon 65 to 80% is the loading pattern that we have.
Because whenever we look at the presentation...
Sorry? No, CAM would be servicing a retailer himself. CAM would be somebody who, like for a retailer who's taken a store, any marketing cost, any housekeeping cost, this has all been taken care of. So loading is the common area that we give. So any of these units that you visit, any of the malls that you visit of Phoenix Paragon, you will probably understand what's the common area that we've given, and that probably is an understandable fact from a retailer who's coming and seeing the location.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
When I say about the location,
right.
So you are providing us the empty shell, or it is including with the fire, sprinkler, or HVAC units, or AC unit?
From
or we have to do the fitment?
I get that. From any unit that is there, because it's been Phoenix's, it's owned and managed by Phoenix, any fire safety norms have been taken care of by us. Because I cannot give a property to a retailer from the high street who probably would not know about the serious concerns about the fire and safety. So that's purely on us. It's a bare shell that's been given to a retailer, but with his basic levels of flooring and so on. But the cost, when you say, the pinch of the cost is very hardly when he compares his store from a unit like this and a high street. Hardly a difference.
And when you talk about the marketing cost,
right,
it is the marketing cost of the mall itself or the businesses which is running inside the mall?
Any marketing that's been done is completely for the product, for the mall, so which certainly caters for that segment. If somebody is from a bridal concept, so the bridal zone is going to be marketed, and there is where he gets his mileage from.
So do you work on the profit sharing basis as well?
We wouldn't, because as a model, even if I want to, it probably doesn't sink in very well with the mindset of these retailers. So it's always a fixed rental that we do. However, there are concepts, there are formats which demand, where we really need to get into. And just give you an example of electronics, you could have somebody from a very New Bombay site who's just not even entered Bombay, but would want to come and not pay the rental that we would want. There is where in electronics we normally get into a model like revolution.
And how long will be the agreement? It is like 5 plus 4 years, or
It's ideally we do a 3 plus 3 or 3 plus 2 years, that's 5 years.
what is the locking period?
Locking again, these are again negotiable terms, but ideally if you ask me, it's 2 years of lock-in that we have.
Thanks for